What up, good people? I'm your host, Els the Truth, back with a returned episode of 345. If this your first time tuning in, we got 5 topics, 3 minutes to talk about each of them. We got some good topics to discuss today. First, I want to talk about WNBA expansion, the salary cap, the new CBA, and what y'all can look forward to when the players opt out at the end of the year. We're going to talk about Tina Charles becoming the second player to score 8,000 points and which players can possibly score that many points in their career. Then I want to talk about the all-star rosters, who deserved their spot, what players got snubbed off the team. Then I want to talk about the Indiana Fever, Rant About's experience, Sophie Cunningham and the remarks she made about my cities. And lastly, I want to talk about mid-season cuts, training camp cuts, and how the new CBA is going to change all that. Okay, but first I want to talk a little bit about WNBA expansion. Over the next several years, the W is planning to add 5 new teams. 1 in Cleveland, 1 in Detroit, 1 in Philly, 1 in Toronto, 1 in Portland. And to be honest, I don't know if it's enough good players out there to even be adding that many teams right now. They're going to be creating such a watered down product that they actually might hurt the league rather than helping it like they think they're doing. Even when you look at women's college basketball, it's not 18 teams that you just gotta watch every year. You pretty much only watching the teams that you faithful to. And when you look at the WNBA teams, they don't got these historically great teams or universities like UConn or South Carolina or Tennessee. They're not even adding teams in those cities that already got big women's basketball fans. We already know Cleveland, we already know Detroit gonna show out, but Philly, Toronto, Portland, I'm not sure. The last Portland team, the Portland Fire, they bringing them back, they getting their same name back. They only lasted for 3 seasons, and they never made the playoffs. And that's what you're going to be looking at with these 5 teams. 5 bottom feeders that's not going to be making the playoffs. And right now, the WNBA salary cap for this past season was about $1.5 million. On the new CBA, with all the new media rights deals, they are projecting that the new CBA, the players can get a salary cap between $4 and $5 million. And if the salary cap go up that high, then that means the max player can get up to $1 million a season. The current WNBA salary cap, they don't have no exceptions. You know how in the NBA they got mid-level exceptions and all kind of trade exceptions where they can slightly go over the salary cap? That's not allowed in the WNBA right now. And the new CBA, that's more than likely going to change, giving players even more flexibility, creating even more bottom feeders. Because why not just go play on the best teams or go play with your best friends? That's what they're doing already. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the league expanding, but 5 teams in such a short time span, I don't know if that's going to work. Even with the new media rights deal being $2+ billion. When you look at the ratings, people still only tuning in when the Indiana Fever is going to certain teams. Everybody is not me who got a WNBA podcast. Everybody is not y'all who listening to this show right now who love the WNBA. We know the product is good. We know the players are good. But everybody else don't know that, and they haven't known that for a long time. And to be real, I just don't think it's smart or fair to try to build a league off of Caitlin Clark's back when you know these other teams ain't performing as far as the ratings goes. Now, the WNBA attendance ratings are really good. People are going to the games, but we know the big money comes from TV ratings, ads, and those big deals from Disney. So my bottom line on this topic is I think they should have just added 2 or 3 more teams and 2 or 3 more roster spots. Now, let's talk about the 8,000 point mark. Congratulations to Tina Charles becoming only the second WNBA player to score more than 8,000 career points. We all know the leading scorer, Diana Taurasi, with a total of 10,646 points. I don't think Tina gonna catch that. But I do want to talk about what players can possibly catch Tina or get up to 8K. It took Tina Charles 15 WNBA seasons to reach that number. Then I look at the player in third place, Rant About. She about to close in on 7,600, and she played 16 seasons so far. The only other active player in the top 10 is Neko Ogwumike, and she got just about 6,900 points. So Nika would need about 3 more seasons at this pace to hit 8K, and that would put her in year 17. All those players have a career average of between 14 and 17 points. When we look at today's players, the obvious player that stick out is A'ja Wilson. Right now, she got 5 seasons where she averaged more than 20 points a game. And of those earlier 3 players I named, Tina Charles, Nneka, and DeWanna Bonner, only DeWanna Bonner has averaged 20 points once in her career. The other 2 never did it. So A'ja can eclipse them in far less time. A'ja might actually end up being the all-time leading scorer when it's all said and done. Diana Taurasi only averaged over 20 points 7 times in her 20-year career, and A'ja already did it 5 times in 8 years. The next player that's going to for sure do it is Breanna Stewart. She got a career average of 20 points, and she also has averaged more than 20 points 5 times over her 9 years. And I got some history for y'all. There's only 2 players in WNBA history that have 3 consecutive seasons where they average more than 20 points per game. One being Cynthia Cooper, she was the first. Second, Diana Taurasi, who did it 4 times in a row, which no other player has ever done. My next player, Napheesa Collier, if she finished this season averaging more than 20 points, then this will be her 3rd consecutive season. So I think if she plays long enough, she'll also hit 8K at some point. And also A'ja Wilson, if she finished the season, this will be her 3rd consecutive season averaging more than 20 points. I also think Arike can do it. Despite her not having her best season, I know she can put that ball in the basket, and I know she's going to keep putting that ball in the basket for many years to come. I think Kelsey Mitchell can do it. Right now, she got a career average of 17 points, and I think that can increase even more if she stayed with the Fever. Of course, Caitlin Clark got a chance at doing it. I hope I'm not leaving nobody out, but that's really all I can think of off the top of my head. If you could think of anybody, feel free to comment their name and let me know why you think they're going to hit 8K. But my bottom line for this topic, the WNBA need more scorers. That's what made the NBA so great. They had Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, then it went to Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, just dominant, pure scorers. And I think the WNBA is missing that aspect. Now I want to talk about the WNBA All-Star selections. And the first thing I want to say about this, can we please do away with this team captain stuff? These is all great players. We don't need no captains. Let's just go back to the old model where the top players get picked by fans and coaches, and that's it. That being said, let's take a look at the roster starting with Team Clark. The starters, you got Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, A'ja Wilson, and Satu Sabally. Reserves, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, and Kayla Thornton. And for Team Fee, she got Breanna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Nneka, Paige. Reserves, C-Dub, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, and Ryan Howard. For once, I think the fans and the coaches got it right. All these players that made the team this year deserve to be on the team. And I've looked at it up and down. I don't think that there was nobody snubbed. Even if it was somebody snubbed, it ain't nobody on this roster right now that I would take off to put somebody else on. The only thing that I would say is a bit weird is the Connecticut Sun are not being represented at all in the WNBA All-Star game. But they are the worst team, so, that goes without saying. And let me also say this. Let me explain to y'all why I want to do away with this team captain stuff. It's way too much bias out there. Caitlin Clark, with her first pick, selected Aaliyah Boston. She just picked her teammate. The number 2 pick was Breanna Stewart. Number 3 pick was Sabrina Ionescu. Like, how are y'all seriously just passing over A'ja Wilson this many times over? 4th pick was Alicia Gray. So you mean to tell me you got Aaliyah Boston, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Alicia Gray before you get to A'ja Wilson? Nah, we're going to have to do away with this because there's no way that should happen. No GM in the league is selecting Aaliyah Boston over A'ja Wilson. Not on the blacktop, not in the All-Star game, not nowhere. And then look at this. The last pick in the draft was Kayla Thornton. Not only did the captain slight her by picking her last, look at this right here on ESPN.com. They still got her listed under the Aces. She played for the Valkyries. And I feel like this stuff can be way too manufactured because there is no way that Caitlin Clark was going to pick Angel Reese on her team. No way. And she also picked Kelsey Mitchell with her first pick of the reserves. Same thing for Fee. She picked her teammate Courtney Williams with her first pick of the reserves. Like, we don't need y'all hand-picking the teams. It ain't never been done that way. And at this rate, you know, I know, everybody that's a WNBA fan know, Caitlin Clark is going to be a captain of the team every year until she retires. She will always be the number one vote getter for All-Star Weekend. I seen it happen with LeBron James year after year. Being from Cleveland, he always got the most votes for All-Star Weekend. And when they went to this model in the NBA, it was always LeBron James being the captain of the teams. So my bottom line on this topic, let's enjoy All-Star Weekend, but let it be the last time for this format. Now I want to talk about DeWanna Bonner and just the Indiana Fever in general. First off, DeWanna Bonner ain't never played as bad as she played in Indiana. Her numbers was down across the board, career lows. She was looking like this was her last year in the league. And for real, something just ain't adding up to me because she was coached by Stephanie White for multiple seasons in Connecticut. And for some reason, her minutes was down. Maybe she had to earn the spot when she felt like she deserved it. Who knows? I'm not finna sit here and speculate because I truly don't know what happened. But I know that she wasn't getting the playing time that she really deserved. And now that she got re-signed to Phoenix, she already done dropped 22-11 in her second game. So safe to say that she has definitely been revitalized. Now for the Indiana Fever team, they are an okay team. They okay with me. But I think the Indiana Fever fan base is dangerous for the WNBA community. I think most of the fans are just Caitlin Clark fans. I don't think they know nothing about the Indiana Fever history, Tamika Catchings, and all the other great players in the history that was doing stuff on this team. But honestly, it just seemed like such a hateful environment. They don't pay respect to nobody. They ain't paying homage. They out here condoning violence. I ain't never seen a player get more following and praise like Sophie Cunningham got for cheap shotting the player. And the craziest thing about that whole situation to me is when Sophie Cunningham fouled JC Sheldon, everybody said that she was defending Caitlin Clark. Why would Caitlin Clark need defense from JC Sheldon when she cheap shotted and pushed Angel Reese all down out the air like she ain't care about her? And when that happened, people tried to say that she was protecting Natasha Howard, who Angel Reese had just kind of pushed off of to get the offensive rebound. So you mean to tell me Sophie Cunningham saves Caitlin Clark, who saves Natasha Howard? In that order. Like, come on now, be real with yourself. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark don't talk to Natasha Howard outside of basketball. But what Sophie Cunningham did was a straight up cheap shot to flagrant foul somebody on a fast break play. It just makes absolutely no sense. And she wasn't doing that to protect Caitlin Clark. She was doing that because she a scrappy, dirty player. What's also funny about this whole situation is all players that's not on that Indiana Fever team know that the players on that team ain't really like that. So they're going to have to keep that same energy when they go against these tougher players in the playoffs. And my guess is they not going to be tough enough. When you do all this talking, trying to say that everybody's Super Bowl or everybody look forward to playing y'all and everybody hate y'all, these are the words that's coming from the Indiana Fever players. Oh, you going to see how much they hate y'all when they see y'all in the playoffs. My bottom line out of this situation, as far as DeWanna Bonner goes, I think both parties are happy that they parted ways. And as far as the Indiana Fever goes, it's not just their fan base, it's the players as well. Now let's talk about a couple of off-season, mid-season cuts and some players that I feel like should still be on teams right now. I guess I'll start with the news that most recently happened. Alisa Pearley was waived by the Minnesota Lynx. I've seen so many Twitter posts, TikTok posts, Instagrams, wherever you get your social media from. I try to check it all out, but so many people was acting like they were so shocked about Alisa Pearley being waived. And I'm like, have y'all not been watching this girl play? This is not Utah. Can you imagine having to go up against Nafisa Collier and Elena Smith in practice every day? Fee is literally one of the all-time greats, and Elena Smith is one of the all-time great defenders. So I can only imagine how tough practice was for her, let alone trying to get in games. And then honestly, she just can't play defense on nobody in the WNBA right now. I would say about 90% of players can get past or score on Elisa Pili. She got a whole lot of work to do if she really want to get back on the WNBA roster. Also, the New York Liberty cut Marquisha Davis. And that one really blew my mind because every time she got in the game, she was showing me something. Another reason I think a lot of these players have a hard time keeping their roster spots is because they just got so many other options outside of basketball that they really prioritize those outside options like social media more than they prioritize making a roster. And let me tell you this, every team got a social media policy. If you think the GMs and coaches ain't got somebody watching your social media, you sadly mistaken. Anybody out there in the world, if you think your boss or some managers ain't out there watching your social media, you sadly mistaken. Somebody's always watching you. And it don't matter if it's all good intentions. If they perceive that you're not taking the game that serious, then the consequences come with that. Anybody that do social media, even on the small level, know that social media is a job. And when you got two jobs, you know what that causes? A conflict of interest. And no manager, no CEO, no boss, GM, whatever you want to call it, likes to have a conflict of interest in their business. And that's just being real. That go for any walk of life. If you ain't got that Tropicana, if you ain't got that juice, then you don't need to tiptoe that line. Established players, veterans, popular players, they can do what they want. But y'all young players, if you still on a rookie contract, you need to be doing everything by the book. Cross all your T's, dot all your I's, bring the donuts, do whatever you got to do to make sure you stay on that roster. And I feel like a lot of these players, since they got such a big social media following, they just get big-headed and entitled when really you still need to be working hard. My bottom line on this whole situation, I do think the WNBA need to do more to get these rookies more playing time. And on the other hand, I think the young players do need to do a better job at wanting to be great and showing that they want to be great.